Boston, the winningest sports city this century. Each championship deriving from a plan. Join us as we discuss the next Boston Banner Blueprint with your hosts, Josh Finkel, Nick Walsh, and Nate Philbrook.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Boston Banner Blueprint podcast. It's episode 17. I'm making my return. I'm here with Nate and Nick. Tony is behind the glass on the ones and twos. Nate, before we get any further, take it away and talk socials.
Dude, it is so good to have you back, my friend.
Hey, it's good to be back. I'll get into why I missed last week, but hey, Nick, I will kick you early this episode, my friend.
Give him the boot. Give him the boot. So, of course, everybody knows where to find us, but of course, that starts on Twitter /X at Boston Banner BP, Boston Banner Blueprint on both Facebook and Instagram, and then Boston Banner Blueprint on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. If you forget, it is down below in the banner going across the screen. And of course, go like, subscribe, rate 5 stars, and share with your friends and family. Boys, it's good to be back. Let's kick this thing off right.
Yeah, so we're talking Pats today. There hasn't been too much that's happened since those the free agent signings on day one of free agency. There's been some smaller roster moves, some releases, some guys re-signing, stuff like that. And then there's a lot of mock drafts that Nate has been really excited about, so we're going to get into those. But yeah, I mean, I'm back. I missed last week. I was in Myrtle Beach. I was going to be on the episode, but a lot of baseball games happened, weather happened, tropical weather. Games got pushed back. Played 3 games on one day, so I wasn't able to hop on. But the boys held it down. Tony finally got his spotlight, which he's been waiting for. So happy that could happen, and I heard they held it down. So happy to be back, and I'm happy to talk Pat. So let's get into it. I'll send it to Nate.
Yeah, I just want to throw out there that I recorded from spring training. So I set the bar, and you let me down last week, Fink.
I need to be better, and I will be better. I apologize. I had a good setup.
Just deserve the best.
No, they do. You're right. I had a great setup. We had a nice little deck on the 3rd floor of our condo where we were staying. So I was gonna set up out there and have a nice overview of the water. And there's a fountain. And man, it was honestly beautiful. I wish Nick could have been there with me. It sucks he wasn't. But I mean, I had everything set up, brought all my equipment with me. Just unfortunately, it didn't work out, and that happens. And I mean, I'm back ready to go today, ready to talk Pats, and ready to keep pushing Travis Hunter to New England. So,
yeah, so I think that's where we should start because you are exactly right. I've been sending so many mock drafts into our group chat because I am seeing Abdul Carter and Travis Hunter fall to the Patriots at 4 in like every single one of them now, including Todd McShay, which is kind of the modern guru. So, man, doesn't it fire me up? And we can talk about some options here in a little bit, but this is the kind of player that you bring in, obviously on the cheap, as it is a. Go ahead, Fink.
No, you finish. I have something to add on.
Absolutely. So, bringing in on the cheap, but then having 3 young studs between Gonzo, Drake May, and then whoever it may be, Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter, at 22 years old or younger on rookie deals. Talk about building a blueprint. Boys, I don't think it gets any better than that across the NFL. I don't think there's a single other team that can rival that 3 that young, that impactful of positions. And so you're darn right I'm fired up about it because when we're talking about building the next blueprint, the dynasty of Patriot football and getting back to Patriot way, that's how you do it.
No, and I think Elliot Wolf kind of hinted at their strategy today. He said last year they drafted on need and they don't really want to do that anymore. They want to take hopefully the best talent available. And if that's Will Campbell, then maybe it is Will Campbell. But I mean, all these mock drafts are telling if it was 1 or 2, maybe having Travis Hunter to the Patriots in one and then a Carter to the Patriots in another, then maybe we don't really need to talk about it as much. But it's like every single big name analyst has one of these 2 guys coming to New England. So there's no reason to not be fired up about it. That's why I'm Mr. Positive for this episode. We'll give it to someone different each episode, whoever was the most positive, but I'm just giving it to myself. But I mean, it's hard to not be positive. It really feels like I did the job of getting Travis Hunter to New England. I've been saying it for 2 months now, and I think it's going to come true. I don't know how it couldn't. Nick?
Well, I'm just glad the mock drafts aren't showing Will Campbell at 4. After my rant a couple weeks ago about T-Rex arms, if it's Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter, sign me the hell up and don't even think twice about it. So how's that for your positivity, Fink?
I feel like that was Moy Ma. Like, it was like, meh. It wasn't like positive, but it wasn't negative. You were just Nick. You know?
But with it coming from me, it's as close to positivity as you're going to freaking get.
Yeah, we'll take that into consideration on the positivity committee, but we're only 6 minutes in, so you got a long way to go, my friend.
Wait, we're past the 5-minute mark? So it was pretty
I
fucking positive for me, not pretty.
Oh, no, we might not actually be by the 5-minute mark. Oh, no. I started it early. We might not be. We just got in trouble. Good job.
So
you're the guy who's worried about swearing, and then you just swore, and now your job's going to hear.
Can I give you guys a bold take?
Please do. I think that's good. I think that's a good thing to do.
Because I really want to hear what you guys have to say about this. So I'm seeing one of 3 different scenarios playing out in this draft. This is really what I've narrowed it down to, and I'm pretty steadfast it's going to be one of these 3 scenarios. Number 1, Travis Hunter falls to the New England Patriots at 4. Easy selection. He impacts. Yes, all the positive vibes. That he impacts the ball on the offensive side. You play him 30, 35 snaps on the defensive side in special situations, and you obviously get to utilize the player that he is. You get to utilize the unique talent that he is. Number 2 is Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter go before the Patriots pick at number 4. Will Campbell's there at 4. They select Will Campbell to solidify the offensive line, even if he is day 1 a tackle and then ends up being something else down the line. If he is a mainstay in that offensive line and is exactly what they expect him to be, then that's going to be a solid pick. However, option 3 is where I think it gets really, really interesting, and that's where Travis Hunter goes in the top 3, but Abdul Carter falls to number 4. Now, Abdul Carter's not as seamless a fit on this Patriots roster as we stand right now. But where I think that gets really interesting is obviously that's a blue chip talent that then teams would want to trade up for. But that's what we've been talking about, is trading out of that pick. But I've been of the mindset of we need somebody to trade up for something. And it's not going to be one of these quarterbacks, I don't think. So talent like Abdul Carter is that talent that a team's going to want to leverage the farm for and come up and get. And then Patriots get their bag. They slide back. They select a Will Campbell. They select a Calvin Banks. They select a Ted McMillan later in the first round. And then they start stockpiling assets. What do you guys think of those 3 options? Nick, I want to throw it to you first.
I want number 1. I want option 1.
I've been on the train of I want Abdul Carter. I know free agency has kind of put a damper on that, like you said, in terms of the mix, in terms of the defensive line is already stock and loaded. But it's hard with Carter being right there, where I think pound for pound football player, he's the best prospect in the draft, the most dominant one, I should say, because I know Travis Hunter provides value on both sides of the ball. So think before you jump down my throat. I mean, in terms of the sheer...
Yeah, I mean, I would love to jump down your throat, but Travis Hunter's definitely the best football player. He's the Heisman winner.
Yeah, well, I think Carter would be the most dominant one out of the group, so I don't feel like I would want to trade out of that pick. Like, I'm on the record of also, if those 2 are gone, yes, trade down, but like you said, that comes tricky when you need someone to trade up for someone. So I understand that point of view, but it's kind of hard with Carter saying right there, me being like, yeah, trade out of the pick.
So, and I saw you think, I'm just going to, one quick thing, throw it to you of, I think the drop off in this particular class, I think the drop off between Travis Hunter as a wide receiver and either Ted McMillan or Matthew Golden, depending on who you see as number 2, is larger or as a cornerback, Travis Hunter as a cornerback to Will Johnson or whoever some of the other top guys are on cornerback side. I think the spread is larger at that position than it is as Abdul Carter versus a Michaels from Georgia or a Shamir Stewart that tested out of the gym. So I think the spread is a lot larger from specifically Travis Hunter's perspective, which is why I think it's an easy selection at 4 if he's there. Whereas Abdul Carter, you can still, get a large package for that pick while also getting a 1B rather than 1A. I'm going to go to Fink first just because he had something that he wanted to say before I started.
So I have two things. One, I think it would be fair to say Travis Hunter would be a better cornerback than a Golden or a Luther Bird and someone like that because he does both and they don't. So I think that would be fair to say that he is better than them. Two, I want to go through and do the first 5 or 7 picks of the draft. Us three go through it, but I'm going to send it to Nick before we do that.
Yeah, but I just wanted to rebuttal on Nate's point where I agree that the drop off isn't as extreme with Carter to the next one, but I also think that's a reason why the trade packages wouldn't be as great. Why would you trade assets when you can get pennies on the dollar of another player that's basically closer to that? Like, if you're looking for demand and all that, like you said, Hunter is the premier target. The gap's that much bigger, so you have to go up and get him because the cliff's right there. For Carter, you have a quote unquote plan B if he doesn't fall to you. If you're one of the teams looking to trade up.
I just know on draft night when the Boston Banner Blueprint gang goes live on Twitter/X that we are all going to be sweating freaking bullets as number 3 as the Giants come on the board, particularly if it goes Cam Ward and then Shadur. We're going to be holding our breath of what that Giants card is going to read.
I don't know if we will because if it goes Cam Ward and then Shadur, we're getting one of the two.
Maybe, but that's what I mean is I don't know about you guys, but Fink, I'm 100% in your camp now. I'm all in on the Travis Hunter experience. As soon as I saw Kevin Burkhardt, Burkhardt, is that who I was talking about earlier? That I posted in the chat of that he compared Travis Hunter as a wide receiver to Justin Jefferson. As soon as I saw those comparisons and just his silky smooth running style, that's exactly the kind of player that you just beg for, right?
This team needs talent, and that is talent. You can find anybody to play on the offensive line.
Well, we tried that. We tried that experiment
last
year.
We tried that, but you don't just find it. We've never seen a Travis Hunter before. We see good offensive linemen every single year. Also later in the drafts too. There's not a Travis Hunter every round, but there's a Will Campbell every round.
I don't know that I completely agree with that either, but serviceable, sure, for sure.
Okay, yeah, that's a good way to rephrase it. But let's go through the first 7 picks. I'll start. I'm the Tennessee Titans on the clock. It's going to go to Nate, then Nick, then Tony, then back to me. So,
Tony gets the Patriots pick. I like it.
Yeah, Tony gets the Pats pick. All right, so Tennessee Titans. We have selected Cam Ward, quarterback.
Charge. I don't think
the Browns are on the clock. Nate,
the theme music, but I mean, it's no secret, right, that Shadur Sanders is really the guy that they're eyeing in Cleveland. I mean, he was posting all over social media that Cleveland was one of his preferred destinations. Dion said the same thing. I mean, he was playing footsies with Travis Benzana, the number 1 prospect for the Cleveland Guardians, not Indians. I almost said Cleveland Indians, but you know what I'm talking about. So I think that it's, given the cap hell that they find themselves in with Deshaun, they have to kind of right the ship. And I think the decision makers there will do a drastic move to potentially save their jobs. And that's drafting Shadur at 2. So Cam Ward and then Shadur. Nick, who do you have going 3?
So if those two are off the board and the Giants don't have someone to replace Tommy DeVito, I'm looking at you already have Neighbors there as your wide receiver 1. You could pair Hunter with Neighbors and have a good wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2 tandem. But looking at the history of the Giants between LT, Michael Strahan, that defensive line has always been impactful for great Giants teams. They're going to recreate it and get Abdul Carter at 3.
Tony, what are we
Well,
doing?
with those 3 picks going and coming down to the Patriots here, I think it's a pretty obvious pick. We're going with the place kicker out of Florida State, Ryan Fitzgerald. Generational talent. This guy's better than Seabass, okay? You remember that? Those days. He'll
Hey,
change
Joey,
this franchise.
Joey Slides signed today with someone, so we need a
Tennessee.
replacement. Tennessee.
Yeah. No, in all seriousness, no way. You can't go with anyone but Travis Hunter there. That's who I've wanted from day one, pretty much, as well as Fink. I'm a big fan. He is going to play 2 ways. I don't know how much it'll be. And as a fan of football, I want to see that on my team. And that's the sole reason. I think Carter, as Nick's been advocating for, is probably the best talent there. And if you're doing what the Patriots front office says, you would draft him there. But I'm going to say Pats are going to go with Travis Hunter and make a splash pick right there.
It's funny that you did that, Tony, because I'm looking at this mock right now by Connor Rogers of NBC Sports. And he had Travis Hunter going to the Jaguars at 5, which was the next pick. So I don't know how he slipped all the way down to 5. A place kicker was not taken in the top 4, I can tell you that. But
you know how a potential number 1 pick slides that far? No one went to his birthday party. And I hope you guys get that reference.
yeah, I've seen that movie a million times.
Okay. I looked at Nate's. I was looking at Nate's face of him looking puzzled. So I was like, "Oh, I hope someone got that reference."
Nate's definitely not seen that movie.
Yeah, I got nothing.
How have you not seen that movie? Vontae Mack. There's a lot of talent in that movie, man.
Draft day. Okay.
He went defensive lineman at 1. Abdul Carter. There you go.
That's why I think
I have seen it.
Abdul Carter goes 2, Shadur goes 3, Travis Hunter 4.
Still fine. So I think you're on the clock there, Jacksonville.
Yeah, we're taking Will Campbell.
Will Campbell. Okay.
Wait, no, we wrote the wrong name. We're taking Mason Graham. Sorry.
That's kind of what I thought. Yeah. So I'm going Vegas. You got show lights out in Vegas. You got to put on the show in that new stadium. Who better to do that than the boy out west already, Ashton Genty? I think he's unquestioned the top running back. Even though I'm an Omarion Hampton guy, I think Ashton Genty is going to go significantly higher in what is a phenomenal running back draft that Patriots will likely be looking to pick one of these guys up. Spoiler alert. But yeah, I got Ashton Genty going to Vegas at 6.
So that gives me the Jets pick, which I've been hammering on the Will Campbell T-Rex arms, and you don't take a guard in the top of the high picket of the draft. The Jets are notorious for fucking everything up. So they're going to take the T-Rex arm himself and take Will Campbell. And they're going to live in purgatory for the next 2 decades as usual.
Wow, what an awful pick. All right, Tony, you're
That's
up.
why I did it for the Jets. Got to make it realistic.
We're going to keep going. This is kind of fun. We're going to go a little bit longer. Yeah, Panthers.
They're going to go – I don't know who they're going to pick exactly, but they're going to go on the offensive line, I think. Beef up their O-line. I don't know who will be available there, but that's what I'm going to say.
We'll say Membu went to the Panthers.
And Armand Membu. So
Membu went to the Panthers.
I'm gonna back up just for our listeners' sake. a couple of picks. So I've heard a lot of Jackson Dart sneaking into the top 10 going to New York, which for all the same reasons that you just said, Nick, are the exact same, like, because the Jets are going to jet, and Jackson Dart is not worthy of a top 10 pick, in my opinion. So, it's a quarterback weak class, so let's just throw 3 of them in the first 10 picks. But
I'm going to throw this blueprint back down on the table so we can keep working. I think the Jets go with Tyler Warren. I don't think the Jets mess up. Tyler Warren's going to be the best talent there. They need a tight end. Tyler Conklin just left, and he's more than a tight end. He's everything, man. Nick?
That's a pretty high pick for a tight end.
Yeah. Can I not so much derail the conversation, but can I ruin a Jets fan's day?
Brock Bowers.
Yeah.
I thought you had a freaking chihuahua barking in the background.
Got you to pay attention, didn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. But I want to ruin a Jets fan's day. If we're going to talk about them fucking up drafts, can we rewind and go back to when Bill Belichick came over to the Patriots? Robert Kraft actually had to give the New York Jets a first-round draft pick to get Bill out of his contract in New York. Do you guys know who the Jets used on that number 1 draft, that first-round draft pick in the year 2000?
Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson wasn't even born yet.
Nate, do you know?
No idea.
PT?
Tony and I were not alive.
Quarterback, Chad Pennington.
And that's solid.
One of the infamous Brady 6. So the Jets could have had Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. They had the resources to do it. And they walked away giving Bill and Tom to their division rival and have been nothing but irrelevant other than the Mark Sanchez years ever since. So when I say the Jets find a way to screw things up, they find a way to screw things up royally. And they'll do it again, whoever they pick. Whoever they pick is going to turn into the bust of the draft. So whatever name you want to throw out there. It sucks for that player, but he's already a bust.
Yeah, I've just seen a lot of Jackson Dart there, and then to comment on PT's pick, I think that they try and fill the Brian Burns hole that was left last year, and Shamar Stewart that again he tested out of the gym, athletically comped to Micah Parsons. So I think that would be a pick that Carolina would at least consider.
Yeah, that's not where I was going to go. I was going to have them take Mike Green, but same type of idea.
Yeah, athletic freak.
So after the Panthers, it's the Saints. So I'm the Saints, and we are going to take Tedarora McMillan, wide receiver out of Arizona. So Nate, you're the Bears.
Yeah, Bears. I mean, this is where I see Will Campbell going. They've already addressed the offensive line in free agency. It was one of the worst offensive lines in football last year. I see them continue to try and, build around Caleb Williams while they have a healthy DJ Moore under contract. They have Caleb Williams. They have Swift still. They have, I'm forgetting the rookie from last year, the wideout, but forgive me on that one. But
Rome Odunze.
Yeah, thank you. Rome Odunze to continue to protect what they believe to be franchise quarterback that doesn't even sniff Drake May, but keep going.
So the Saints taking Tech kind of threw me for a loop on that one because that's who I was going to have go to the 49ers to replace Debo. So I'm a little bit, to be honest with you, a loss for the Niners right now. At that point, I think they might trade back, get out of that pick. So I'm going to skip and go to Tony. I'm going to make up my own fucking rule. Tony, it's up to you.
Tony, you're the Cowboys. You're the Niners.
The 49ers?
Yeah, you're still the Niners.
All right, we'll go. You know what, Nick? We'll go with a guy that you've mentioned a while back from Texas, Calvin Banks. They're going to beef up the O-line with him.
With Trent Williams still there as the highest paid left tackle?
Yeah. I think that's what they go. A lot of mock drafts have the Niners taking Will Campbell. But I don't think he'll be there.
So that was a nice quick 11 pick Boston Banner Blueprint mock draft, but we're going to switch gears a little bit and get more specific to the Patriots. Stephon Diggs, we know it, fellas. He just had his visit with the Patriots. It kind of came out of nowhere, randomly late one night a couple days ago. But initially, my thoughts were, why did the report come out a few days ago that they were concerned about giving money to a high level wide receiver because of how it may affect their young quarterback in Drake May? And then the very next day, you have Stephon Diggs, the biggest diva wide receiver known to man, in the building for a visit. Didn't really make sense to me, but what were your guys' thoughts?
It's because they thought he was going to be cheaper than what he wanted, and that's why he left the building without a contract. It was all about price of that contract coming off the ACL and not being ready until probably at least October. So they probably thinking, oh, we can get him at a bargain bin discount, and he comes in, he rightfully asking for probably what's deemed too expensive for the Patriots' likings, and was like, no harm, no foul. We brought you in, but so long.
Yeah, I think it's no coincidence that as soon as he left without a contract, he started posting, the workout videos pretty consistently, saying like, "Look, see, I am healthy. I could do this." But I think it's interesting that all three of us are in alignment that it. I don't really know how to feel about it. I mean, it's a guy that the talent is not the question. The fit is the question, right? Of even on a wide receiver needy team, this is a guy that I just don't know how welcomed he would be in Foxborough. I mean, he cussed out a bunch of Patriots fans a number of years ago. 1 second, Nick, just as I finish this thought, however, as in alignment as the three/four of us are, we're certainly in the minority because Banner Blueprint X profile put out a poll after that visit was announced, and over 230 people replied, and 93% were pro bringing Stephon Diggs in. So Nick had his finger up first, so I'm going to let you go first.
Okay, so we were all in alignment that I didn't want Diggs in terms of the diva aspect too, but then you got to stop and think about where he was last year, and it was Houston. Who runs the show in Houston? It's old friend Nick Caserio, who is still close and good friends with Josh McDaniels. A couple years ago, before the infamous Josh getting on the plane to Indianapolis and the Crafts pulling him off, the offseason before, it was supposed to be Caserio and Josh going to San Francisco, and that's when it turned out to be Shanahan going out there. So those two are tight. I don't think Nick Caserio would lead Josh in this group in the wrong direction in terms of Diggs. There had to be a good reference there. And on top of that, one of the trainers for Houston last year and one of the personal trainers for Stephon Diggs was the brother of Josh McDaniels. So I think the insight and the information that they're getting out of Diggs, that I think they're going to rely on that, and that's why they were more inclined to bring Diggs in and take a look under the hood, so to speak, and try to bring him in without too much of a worry of the diva-ness. So once I heard that and was reminded of the Caserio aspect, and on top of McDaniel's brother, that kind of got put on the back burner for me. Like, if they're getting good intel, you gotta trust it.
Yeah, I'm going to take a step back and say my opening remarks about Stephon Diggs weren't how I really like. That wasn't me saying I didn't want him to come here. I would love if he was a Patriot. I mean, I've been begging for talent outside. I mean, and you pair him up with Travis Hunter, I think the sky's the limit, especially with this defense and this coaching staff. If Stephon Diggs can't, I mean, his numbers at Gillette are through the roof. I forget the exact numbers, but they're pretty impressive. Before his injury last year, he averaged 62 yards a game. The last time the Patriots had a wide receiver average at least 60 yards a game was in 2019. That was Julian Edelman. So, I mean, even Stephon Diggs on a knee and a half, I would gladly take. but it's not going to happen. You couldn't pay Cooper Kupp $15 million, one of the nicer guys you'll ever meet, one of the smartest football players you'll ever meet. So you couldn't swing that. Then I don't think Stephon Diggs is coming to New England. But that's just my opinion.
Playing my own devil's advocate, I will just say that should he end up in New England, I feel a lot more comfortable with him not ruining the locker room with Mike Vrabel at the helm than I would have as of Gerard Mayo. Again, I don't mean to keep bashing on Mayo, but just Vrabel's gravitas of how he controls a room is just so far superior that it's not even funny that a guy like a Stephon Diggs isn't going to completely derail a season or a development of a player as important as Drake May.
Is somebody going to fucking talk?
All right. Well, this part's getting edited.
Tony, just come on. Come on in like 30 seconds so we can like kind of switch the energy.
Talk about something.
Yeah, talk and then come on so we have a reaction. All right. Yeah, give me Stephon Diggs in New England, Tony, if you can book that.
Okay, that's
PT's list of people he's bringing on is pretty extensive at this point.
We haven't got one yet, so I would stop asking me.
Well, you need to start reaching out a little bit better.
The guy's just working day and night.
He is. You should see him in the ceramics classroom. My lord.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the
Austin Bear Blueprint
that
ceramics
on YouTube how to make
soon.
are just absolutely killing fire.
So what's the consensus? Are we in or out on Stephon Diggs? I'm voting yes. Anyone else vote yes?
I'm a yes.
You're yes?
I'm yes.
Put your hand up then. That's why the hand's up.
I'm shocked.
Tony, if you vote yes, then it's over.
I vote yes as well, but we're not getting them.
Yeah, we're not getting them.
Yeah, we're not getting them, but I want them.
It would be fun.
Yeah, especially if the report was 1 year, 16 million.
Wait, Tony, I have a
favorite segment.
Can I ask you a question before you ask a question?
Yeah.
Can Justine play for me?
I'll allow it.
No.
Two guys say no.
No, I can't get distracted by Justine like that.
Hey,
you guys know. No.
Hey, boys.
Justine, it looks like you're being outvoted.
She's not leaving.
Oh, yeah?
Justine gets what she wants.
Justine does get what she wants. And right now, she wants to win.
Oh.
I can hear you over my pretty voice. All right, Tony,
let's get into the question. So, today's question, I'm going to have... I'll give you the rules right now, Nick, since you need to know so bad. You got to get your iPhone notes out, okay? And you're going to write down something. It'll be simple what you have to write down. But so you guys don't cheat.
This is a flashback.
Now, as you guys know, there was astronauts that came back last week from NASA. They got saved, and great return. They're up there for 9 months. I'm about to ask the question, so get ready. Whoever gets the closest to this gets the point. What is the longest amount of time in space? So how many days?
Jesus Christ.
All right, 5 seconds.
Are we supposed to answer?
Nope, you just show me your
You gotta write it down, stupid.
All right, flip it.
Well,
mine says 443.
Mine, you can't see it, but mine says 3 years, 6 months.
Mine says 443
Infinite from Nate.
days.
Infinite from Nate. 300 and something. How many days? I think
443.
So that means Justine cheated 100%.
What did Justine
Googled it. Justine Googled it.
Oh.
What Justine did was he looked up the answer and then took away like 3 days, so it wasn't suspect.
What?
Yeah. I don't think for that you get -5 points, Justine.
No, dude, what? I'll show you my look.
You caught
I'll
cheating.
straight up right now. Ready?
You better be careful. You don't want your.
No safari. No
You
safari.
probably closed it.
Yeah, you closed it.
Oh my god, bro! I'm done. I'm leaving.
So what was the actual answer? Because I am like a space nerd. So
Well, as a Justine got the closest, and with 437 days is how long the most time in space.
A little over a year. It was
Yep.
my camera wasn't like picking up the phone, but I said 3 years, 6 months, so I overshot it.
Gotcha. And Nate with infinite. That's an interesting answer.
Well, you said how many days are there in space or something like that. I thought it was a trick question.
No,
I
the
see
point
what
of
you're
your
saying.
game was to write down your guess. I guessed and was close, but I was too close, so I cheated. Makes no sense. Fix your game.
Well,
Fix your game.
you
Wow.
did.
Fix your game.
Justine did. It wasn't
Fix
you.
your game. Fix your game. Get out of here. Your game sucks.
I thought the game was fine.
Whoa. What just
No.
happened? Okay. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, put me back in my spot.
Ridiculous. I finally get something right because I guessed. What's the point? What's the point of the game was to guess. I do that correctly and I still lose.
Well, it wasn't a guess. You looked it up. You researched.
are you saying
I did not look it up. If you can prove I looked it up, which I did not look it up, then I'll admit to it. But I did not look it up.
It's Tony's game. Like when he took away points from me last time, it was Tony's rules. Tony gets to make up his rules.
Yeah, I make the rules too.
I've got
All right, so back into the Patriots talk.
This episode's getting a little unhinged here.
I think getting back into
he forgets I'm logged in too, so I can.
I don't forget. I know you can join back. I know you can join back. I want you to join back, just so I can say this. Good boy.
Can we ship his ass back to South Carolina?
If you do, I'd have more time to do the podcast, so there'd be no games.
Well, you didn't have any time last week, so.
Because I had about 14 games in 6 days.
So how many dingers did you give up?
Actually none. I pitched 1.1 innings, no runs, couple Ks. Yep, whole lot of pitching I did.
So
back
one
on
inning
track
and
here.
What'd you say, Tony?
You want to get us back on track here, Nate?
I always want to get us back on track. I'm always the one that gets us back on track.
I agree.
And I have a question that's completely unrelated, so it's not really back on track. So sorry, PT.
Ask the question.
Awesome.
All right. What is and I want to hear from each of you. This includes you, PT. What is one athletic event that you think you could outduel or outplay all of the other co-hosts here? What's one thing you think you could do better than all of us?
Weightlifting, basketball, baseball, golf, soccer, football. I think I'm better than you guys at everything. Esports. I know I'm better than Tony, and Nick doesn't play online, and I don't think Nate plays, so that's easy.
The literal only thing I'm giving you there is esports.
No.
100%.
Weightlifting, easily me. Basketball, easily me.
Well,
baseball,
are you going total weight, or are you going percentage based off of body weight?
We'll go pound for pound. To answer your question, yes. Pound for pound, yes. We'll do that.
All right.
I still think I smacked your sorry ass. Tony might have a chance. But yeah, I think I easily would win every sport. The only reason I would lose is because I get tired if we do all this in one day. If we do all these sports in one day, I get a little tired, but I'm easily wiping the floor with all of you, except baseball. That might be the hardest one.
Oh, I am kicking y'all's ass on the tennis or pickleball court.
Yeah.
That's your sport, Nate?
Yeah, we'll give you those two. Tony, what could you do? What could you beat us in?
I think I'd smack the shit out of you guys in cornhole.
Okay, fair. That's a good pull. That's a good pull. Nick?
We'll post.
Oh wait, I would smack you guys in badminton. I would smack you in badminton.
We'll post my Blueprint Bruins themed cornhole boards. We'll post that in an episode.
And that's going to be a giveaway. So one of you
Hell
lucky
no, it's not. Hell
could
no,
win
it's not. Don't even try for that.
Nick's giving away stuff that isn't his.
If we get 1 million likes, I will give them away to one of them.
So if we get 100 likes on this episode, Nate is going to give away his cornhole boards. That's pretty sweet. Thank you for that, Nate. I thought I was Mr. Positive, but you're just Mr. Community.
I do what I can.
Yeah, apparently, you get us back on track. You give things away. I mean, what don't you do?
I ask myself that every day.
So for my answer, if Tony took mine of cornhole, so I'll go with another like backyard like family game, bocce ball. I'd kick your ass in bocce ball.
So
I'm gonna set this one out. I've never played.
Fun fact about Nate Philbrook, dude. Back at Papoose Pond in Maine, summer vacation, I would kick the shit out of the entire campground at bocce ball and ping pong tournaments. 12-year-old Nate was the king of that place.
That was some good foreshadowing, Nate, because we're actually doing a live show at Patriots Pond for the opening day of the Red Sox on Thursday. So we'll be live at the pond talking to Sox. We'll be watching the game. That's going to be fun. I can't wait for that. So stay tuned for that. Papoose at the pond.
That's right. All right. So to actually get us back on track, thinking about the moving from day one signings, we talked about the day two and beyond signings that the Patriots were able to accumulate. I think you're starting to see these savvy veterans that have established careers, but they're maybe not the marquee guys. That's exactly what the Washington Commanders did the offseason before, right? And so this is the blueprint that we said that we wanted them to follow coming into this year, or this offseason rather, was the Commanders' way. And I'm not saying that the Patriots are going to go out and win 12 games and make it to the AFC Championship. That's not what I'm saying, nor should that be the expectation. However, I think that this is building something that we have not had in a couple of years, because we're building that culture back up. We're building that camaraderie back up. We're building that veteran leadership back up while being able to supplement with young superstars. And that's just going to be further reinforced in this draft. And so, I'm really excited about these day 2, day 3 and beyond. And I'm okay that Cam Robinson chose to go to Houston. And so I'm happy with the way that things have gone. Now, the Garrett Bradbury signing to play center is still a question mark for me, but other than that, I'm excited about what they've done. Go ahead, Vink.
I want to ask a question. Why did they release David Andrews?
Failed physical.
Oh,
yeah, and I love David Andrews, and I listened to part of his segment on Zone Beetle the other day, and it's like he said, is he disappointed at the decision? Absolutely. Like, of course, anyone would, but he also understood it too, because it's a league where it's not what have you done for me, but it's what have you done for me lately. And last few years, he's gotten hurt, and it is what it is. Like, it sucks because he is one of those leaders that came over from the glory days to what we've seen the last 5 years. It's like you're losing between the McCourtys, Slater, Andrews. Like, that's a lot of leadership that's gone out the door, and you gotta revamp it. So you're gonna miss the leadership more than the on-field production, I feel, from the last couple of years, just because he hasn't been on the field. But that's what it is. It's more of a health thing than a player thing.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting too for the timing of it, as by releasing him with an injury designation and failed physical, like they didn't have to do that until really before training camp started. And so the fact that they did it now, knowing that he was coming off season-ending shoulder surgery last year, I think that it kind of pointed to it may have been more his decision than anything else, as he was questioning retirement last year, right? As he didn't know what the new regime was going to look like. He decided to stick it out with the hopes of Gerard Mayo and the emergence of Drake May. But I just think that it was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. Could he have done it? Maybe. But did he want to? Probably not.
I'm just going to come out and say it. I think the Pats make the playoffs.
Ooh.
That's all. I think DraftKings has the over/under on them right now at 6.5.
Good, because I already
That's
got
without
it at
Travis
5.5.
Hunter. That's without Travis Hunter and whoever else we want to draft.
Hey, can I ask you a question with that?
Nope, you can't. It's not your game
okay.
anymore.
Tony, ask away.
No, ask the question, my friend.
What would our win number be to make the playoffs, and where are we finishing in the East?
You'd have to win 9 to 10 games, I would say, and you probably come in second in the East. I don't think you lose to Buffalo. Or I don't think you beat Buffalo, sorry.
So we're going to be better than the Jets and the Dolphins?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Not
Yes.
even,
Yes.
not even. I think right now we're better than the Jets and the Dolphins. Like, I mean, I know we have our history with Miami, but I think this defense and Drake May is enough. It's enough to beat Tua, turn the ball over. And yeah, the Jets not even a question. I mean, Justin Fields, that's a guaranteed 2 wins. And like that's the thing, guarantee. What do you guys think? 9 to 10 wins, make the playoffs, maybe win the first round, and then you're done.
I lived through the Matt Castle year where they won 11 games and didn't make the playoffs. So who knows?
Okay, well, in the modern NFL, you can win 9 to 10 games and make the playoffs. Most teams, that's what most wild cards do.
Right. Like you didn't let me finish, asshole. that was a year of an exception.
You've heard that many times.
Yeah. So yes, I think it's going to be closer to 10 wins. You're going to need it. 9 wins.
That just
clicked. Those bubble teams, and you're going to need like tiebreakers and all that. But to be safe, it's going to be 10.
Well, I mean,
that's a long-winded way of saying, yeah.
To be safe, I think they should win all 17. I mean
that's the most likely scenario. But
I think that would get them into the playoffs.
If they do win all 17, they at least won 10, right? So it's kind of where I'm coming from. Like that was me saying win 10, knowing we're winning 17.
Yeah.
Plus the preseason, so we're winning 20.
Clip this after we go 0-17.
No, if we go 0-17, then something is wrong. Something is major.
If they go 0-17, I will eat my microphone.
If they go 0-17, give those boards away.
I'll get Nick's face tattooed on my chest if they go 0-17. Deal?
Yeah, deal.
Right on the sternum.
Yeah,
because I'm supposed to be the negative one, and I would never in a million years think that this team's going 0-17. So you take that for what you will.
Yeah, Nick, I think it's pretty safe to say you're just not going to win, Mr. Positive.
Yeah, you're never winning.
Especially, I think you
can't win. You can't be Mr. Something if you have to ask for it. See, I became Mr. Positive because I just am positive. You're begging for it. Like it's a school.
I just said I was supposed to be the negative one. I never asked to be Mr. Positive. Jesus. I just said I wasn't the negative one, and I'm not even that.
Earlier in the episode when he said, I think I should be Mr. Positive. I've been so positive. Did he not say that? Please, someone tell me he said that.
He did talk about his positivity last episode when he was talking about Celtics' new owner, Bill Chisholm, and how he already wanted to break out the pitchforks if he trades Tatum.
Finkel didn't hear that because he was too busy looking up the answers to Tony's question.
Did not cheat. You guys were just jealous.
I don't know what you're talking about. It was Justine the whole time. I was just too distracted.
I'm Justine's spokesperson, and she did not cheat.
And she approves of that message.
Yeah, she does. She's not coming back on for a while after the way you boys treated her. I will say that.
Thank God.
I don't know. I think if I slide her a Big Mac, she might.
I wish that was a sponsor plug.
I wish that was too, but if McDonald's, if you're listening, hit us up. I have 40,000 rewards points, so obviously I go there every day. So just hit me up.
So yeah, Pats.
I mean, it's a 50-minute episode. Probably talk 20 minutes of Pats. That's not too bad.
I mean, March for Pats? Yeah. Clean fitty.
Clean fitty. Clean fitty of Pats, baby. But who you guys got winning March Madness? By the way, I look pretty good in the group right now. I think I'm in third, and I went from 11th to third.
I'm garbage. This is not gambling advice, dude. Just whatever you do, don't follow what I have to say when it comes to predicting stuff.
Yeah, as long as Auburn or Florida wins, I think I'm in pretty good shape. Cool.
Yeah, man. I hope I don't win it and then take the 1 pick again.
I just know that it's not going to matter because I'm still going to smoke y'all's ass in this actual season. Just how it usually
What was our
happens.
head-to-head this year? Were we 1-1 or did I sweep you?
I don't know. How about that? I've won money in the league 3 or 4 years, or 2 or 3 years.
So have I.
You guys know we're still being recorded, right? Like, I don't think the audience wants to hear about our fantasy football.
See, this is the point you're not getting, Nick. Just let the adults talk. Highest scorer, weekly high scorers. I've won money every 3 out of the 4 years. This year I didn't.
I've never won that.
I've come in last place. I've come in last place 2 out of the last 3 years, and I've won on the weekly high score. Are you kidding me?
What did you do?
That was a rule that
what was your best finish, Nick? What's been your best finish?
I missed the playoffs by 1 game 2 years ago.
I figured it was going to be something related to fantasy.
Clever.
Thank you.
Did you have to look at that too?
Yeah, so Nate hit the nail on the head. We had a clean 50 of Pat's talk. We're going to start wrapping this thing up. Tony just hit the nail on the head. He sent it in the chat. But closing thoughts before we plug those socials one more time. Closing thoughts on the Pats. I'm going to send it to Tony first.
Draft Travis Hunter, and let's win 8 games next year. That's the goal.
That's a 4-win improvement of the last 2 years. That's a solid jump.
Oh, thanks, Captain Obvious.
Well, you looked like offended when he said 8 games. So it's like.
Nick, go ahead. Closing thought.
Oh, I was waiting for Fink to respond. So my closing thought is going to kind of echo Tony. Take Hunter or Carter. If both of them are off the board, trade out of the pick if you can. But if you jump from between the free agency spending and adding Vrabel, if you jump from 4 wins to 8 wins this year and May takes the next step, I think that's a win of a season, realistically, and having realistic expectations.
Yeah, my closing thoughts are draft Travis Hunter, win 17 games, make the playoffs. Hopefully as a wild card team with 17 wins, and just stay positive. A lot of off season left to go. Can't wait for the draft when we go live with a couple special guests. That'll be fun. But Nate, take it away. Plug those socials.
Well,
what about his closing thoughts?
But I appreciate you you skipping right over that. So
sorry,
but I do like, and I'm going to echo the sense of there's a lot of off season left, and I'm tired of people like bitching and moaning, saying that they haven't done enough to do X, they haven't done enough to address Y. It's not over yet. It's not over yet. They still have a lot of capital. We know that there are big trades that happen on draft night. Calm yourself, Patriots Nation, Banner Blueprint Nation, gang, whatever we call our fans.
You sounded so old saying gang. Just saying.
Sorry. I mean, I'm second oldest on this pod. Most gray hair by far.
And second most handsome.
I was about to say because I don't have any.
So all that to say, it's there's plenty of time left. But to PT's point, this team is already far superior to what we've seen over the last couple of years. So I'm in the 8 to 9 win range as well, and I do think that could creep up. And I'm so glad that I was able to buy low at like 5.5 on betting apps. No free ads. So, speaking of free ads, that starts on Twitter/X, Boston Banner BP, Boston Banner Blueprint on both Facebook and Instagram, Boston Banner Blueprint on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. Go like, subscribe, and share with your friends.
Lester Cotton. Peace.